out today. We do really appreciate your time and efforts to come out.
Who are you, mate?
I'm getting to that. Sorry.
Better hurry up.
Excuse me, you're also speaking up to the people outside who hear you as well.
So I'm Lockie. I'm from the Development Directive. I'm a consultant, town planner for the Moreton Motorsports Park. I've been assisting the team in running the application in getting it to this point today. As part of the application, we have undertaken a community consultation exercise, which involves the online forum, as I think most of you have seen. That's the intent of being here today. So this wasn't a requirement. That this is something that the Moreton.
Where was the forum? Where did you put that?
It's on the Queensland Government website.
Speak up!
Speak up! Can anybody locate a microphone for everybody to hear what's going on?
I'll try and speak up. But look, we come out here today. The two main reasons for coming today is we want to explain the work that's been done over the last 18 months to inform this proposal today. And the other aspect is we're keen to obviously hear your feedback as well. So the intent. I think this would be most useful for everyone in the room if you enable us to get our information across so that you can be informed, and then you can provide the feedback, and we can go from there.
Can we just put one protocol in place? If you want to ask a question, put your hand up.
Yes, thank you.
I know it's like school, and we haven't been there for a long time, but at least it'll keep things going, and you won't have people talking at you.
Thank you.
So if you just identify them. I think
Yeah.
maybe it might also be useful if you identify those before it can be reviewed. But also, I think can we just have people asking questions?
Thank you.
Ain't nobody going to be able to hear squat if you don't keep your voices down. One person talking
I don't think we're going to get over the top of it. So if you could just raise your hand, ask your questions, no comments.
So if I can ask, I really appreciate the suggestion down the front. And I think that's a very good idea. So if there's a question to be asked, raise your hand and we'll deal with it. But can I just ask? And I'm saying this because I believe this will be in the best interest of everyone in this room. Is let us explain our position, please, and then we will take feedback. And I do honestly believe that will get the message across, at least from our perspective. And I know that might not be everyone's perspective, but just enable us to do that. And then we are here to listen. Like I said at the start, we didn't have to do this, but we wanted to. It was at the request of Andrew and the Corbet family to make sure that we address the community properly. So that is the intent of being here today. So if we can please stick to those rules, that would be most appreciated. We do have 1 hour today, so we're sticking to that. And we're going to move towards that. So if I could just start with the application itself. Well, actually, before I get to that, I'll just explain who's here. So we've got Andrew, Corbet, and Lee Wadetsky from Corbet's group, but also Moreton Motorsport Park. We've got Tim Truen from SLR Consulting, who's a noise consultant. We've got Adrian Canarians from BAM Ecology, who's an ecologist. We've got Steve Harrison from Alta, who is an engineer and also the track designer. And we have got Richard Sharp from WaterTech, who is the flooding consultant. He's not here just yet. He's running a little bit behind, but he'll be here in a moment. But each of these consultants is here today to talk to you about their independent analysis of the proposal and explain the outcomes of their analysis. So that's the intent of each of those people today. I'll touch on quickly the process that's been through to get to today, and then I'll pass it over to Andrew, who will give a background to the reasoning why this proposal, and then we'll run through the consultant discussion. So from a planning perspective, it is a state significant development, and it's because it has the interests of more than one locality. It has the interests of the region, given the Motorsport community is larger than it's a regional interest. So for that reason, it's been considered by the state government as a regional project. As part of that project, there's been about 18 months of project analysis, of constraint analysis, in order to come up with the proposal, and that proposal has been presented to the state government. And as part of presenting that proposal, they then invited the application to be made, which it has now been made, and we are in the process of a public consultation, which finishes on the 11th of July. June, sorry, 11th of June. It's been on, yes.
Well done, well played.
It's been lodged since March, so. Now, sorry, can you just wait?
You still had a lot more time than we have to play with this.
Sorry, can you just let us present?
No. You haven't given enough time to present anything. We found out a lot of this by accident, not by you presenting. A lot of these people are taxed anyway, so you can take 5 minutes.
We're here today to try and deliver this, okay?
Why not try to ram it through?
No, we're not. But, sorry, can I take questions at the end?
It's just a quick question, just to set Corbet. I just think it's a little bit insulting, and I want to know, once all these people that you've brought along to explain everything to us in 1 hour, is there going to be time left for people to raise questions?
And who's paying their fees?
If
It's all structured corruptly, maybe they will get a chance.
Yeah, you will. That's what I'm saying. Just let us present what we have, and then you can give some feedback, and we will take questions. But look, I'm sorry. For this to be effective, we need to send out our fees. So I'm gonna pass over to. Sorry, I'll take questions at the end. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to pass over to Andrew, who's going to talk about the reasons as to why and what we're proposing, and then we'll then move through the consultants.
We're all bigger than that. So we're all bigger than that. Thank you. Didn't bring anyone, but thank you for coming. Thank you everyone for coming and taking the time out of your day. We've got to get the consultants today to have a talk to you guys, tell you what it's about. I'll tell you a bit about our background. So we're originally timber company, so my father owned sawmills, logging company, earth moving company. We still do that today. We operate trucks, trailers, earth moving over 1,000 bits a year around Queensland, New South Wales. So our passion's always been motorsport. Can't deny it, speedway cars and motocross. And big pushes for this, for us, we acquired the land quite a few years ago. My boys have been down there, we've been riding bikes there for 2 or 3 years. No one's ever heard us, and we're getting numerous riders there. There's 2 or 3 tracks around that area. So
I've got clients and
because we can hear them, you just want to know the passion behind his life. If that's the free person, anyway, we'll get to it at the end. So you go out into forestry where we're logging out here, you see numerous families out there during the week, kids riding bikes through the forestry because there's nowhere for them to go. You see all this on the news, kids e-bikes, everything. This is why we're trying to drive and find somewhere for kids to ride bikes and people to race cars. So, yeah.
Excuse me, everyone, excuse me. This should stop, nobody can hear you.
So
Bring a microphone.
There was supposed to be one here. We asked for one, there was supposed to be one.
We can't hear you. If either you solve this problem
Does
now or
anyone know where it
stop.
is here? They told us there was one here, we can't find it.
Yes, it's not in consultation.
It's not consultation. Consultation means we talk. We listen. We can't hear you, so it's not consultation.
So this needs to stop. This needs to stop and then this needs to stop and start over again. Okay? I would just like to suggest that the people speaking move closer to
Everybody here now? Like I said, there was supposed to be one here, don't have one, so thank you very much for making that happen.
Start the hour from now.
That's how far it goes.
Look, we're going to start round and round in circles. We'll give you the opportunity to answer. If we can just get through these guys, let us explain to you what this journey is about, what we've done so far, and how we're going to try and appease everyone here today and show you what the project's about.
I'll hold this as I talk. There we go. Okay, so I'll start with, well, if you want to get to the next slide, but the, so I wanted to start with the track design. So it's been,
Yeah, you probably come and sit on the corner there, Rory. Just sit right on the corner there.
Look, so I'll start here. So the complex itself is about 8 kilometres from Beachmere. It's towards the Caboolture end, and it's near the industrial area and the airport. So it is a distance from Beachmere itself, and that's been
Right behind you guys.
and the location there has been chosen given that it is in a floodplain, and it is in an area that can't carry further development or further residential development, and so that's been a key factor to this location. If I move to the next part, so the track design itself is a speed kart and a motocross facility. We have a 1,250 person car park. The road on the way in is over 1 kilometre long into the facility, and we've got space for overflow parking. The facility itself will run. Sorry, we'll wait till the end. Sorry, the facility itself will run. It will run one motocross event a fortnight, and then one speedway event per month. And that's
3 events a month, is that correct?
one event a month.
One
Speedway.
event a month.
That's correct.
And motocross?
The motocross one per every 2 weeks.
It said 6 major events in a year.
That's right.
I
Online.
hear you guys riding bikes. I hear you guys riding motorbikes on the front. I hear you guys using the same sort of
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. But
You're telling me 3 times a month?
there will be events 3 times a month.
So
That's
you're
right.
destroyed by this.
Yeah, that's. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to keep moving on. I'm going to pass over to Steve now, who is the track designer but also the engineer, who will talk through the aspects of, particularly around traffic, which has informed this proposal.
Question, why is there only one access road in?
The one access road is off Beachmere Road, which is a state controlled road. Because we believe that that's the most appropriate access for the site.
Excuse me, what about the ambulances that use Beachmere Road to get to Crown Lakes Resort? Cars that you were going to be having on Beachmere Road alone, let's not to speak about Bruce Highway and the corner down here near Macca's. That congestion of a Saturday is absolutely ridiculous. We're down to Monty's already. What's this going to be doing? We went to Beachmere to have a quiet coastal little country living city benefits. That is gone overnight. Okay, let's now put the access road on Private Island Road. Doing fishing, whatever, on beautiful private islands, where are they going to detour? When that traffic is backed up, straight down Beachmere Road.
If I can just address the question about the traffic. So, my name's Steve Harrison, I'm an engineer, so I'm the nuts and bolts kind of guy of all this. To be fair to the other guys, the process you go through is set up by the government, it's not what they set up, so they're following the process. But like I say, the nuts and bolts of it comes down to me. So in terms of the traffic, could you zoom out to the overall, please, Rory?
You're going to have a kilometre driveway from Beachmere Road.
Excuse me.
But let's not go there, eh?
Excuse me if I can just give you a bit of info. So, where the entry to the facility is pretty much adjacent the marina on the Caboolture River. There's 2 bus stops there. As part of the development, that intersection, the new intersection will be channelized. There's about 300 metres of work
That's
there,
not
which
enough.
is a right turn lane, so that if someone's trying to come out of here, have traffic heading out of Beachmere, pardon me, 55 metre long left turn lane in, where obviously most of the traffic will come from. Relocation of and upgrading the bus stops as well. That's probably around $1.52 million worth of works. These bus stops here.
The question was, where are the bus stops going? The bus stops are going up to Riverside Road. Did anybody know that?
So in terms of, if you're concerned about traffic, this has been studied by my colleague Diane Hayes, who's a very well respected traffic engineer. This is main roads, it's not their minimum intersection treatment by any means. And the nature of the use, sorry, I'm not only an engineer, I'm a motocross enthusiast myself. I'll be honest, the nature of the use is not everyone turns up over 1 hour period, they don't leave over 1 hour period. It's generally over half a day, for the speedway maybe a couple of hours, and it's generally on a Sunday morning, Saturday afternoon.
Oh, fuck. We're never going to get home.
In your application, that you stated...
We'll be coming left out of there and then come past us here.
Yeah. We'll be going on the Private Island Road, coming a long way home.
Well, so if it's in there, is it also in your work? Is it in the traffic assessments that you've done?
Well, I haven't done the assessment, I've done the intersection design, which I'm talking to there right now.
Well, it still applies, because you've done an assessment, are you moving someone crossing 1 lane or 4?
I'll tell you now, that assessment will be done on whatever's there. I don't know exactly what part you're talking about.
300 metres is not long.
Good question.
Half a dozen cars.
Yeah.
Can you pull up the...
For 150,000 car park, is that what he said earlier?
So as I say, the main intersection is from opposite the marina.
No way.
Here's the other gentleman over there. There is an emergency access out to Drivey Road, only for extreme emergencies. If out of some strange thing you were flooded in, or there was a massive bushfire. Pretty nice thing. So the gentleman just asked about the floodplain. You go to the main picture, please, Rory. There he goes. So this is the complex. In order to minimise noise from the facility, both that there and that there is a 6.5 metre high earth bund, continuous all the way around. So that's primarily for acoustic attenuation. If I can in a moment, sir. There's about 700,000 tonnes of earth to be moved. And you're quite right, it is a floodplain. Can you bring up those photos in existing site? I'll let Richard talk to that. There's been extensive flood modelling done. So there's, if you can, just one with the lake. Maybe that or the site. So this is the site as it exists, right? The site's been used for cattle grazing and pine farming for a long time. It's quite degraded. Having said that, and I'm not an ecologist, I'm just an engineer, there's an existing lake there, and the day I was out there, there were egrets fishing out of that lake, and it looks in pretty good condition to me as an engineer. What acid frogglers have been dealt with also. You maybe a couple more shots in the site already. So the site is pretty much like this. It's quite low lying land. It's water underfoot. There's a number of gravel access roads through the site already, and they'll be utilised for the main access coming in. And there's also a bit of stormwater drainage in the site, which will be upgraded as necessary. The flood modelling has been done. There's no net afflux off the site. The site is about 1,000 acres, and the facility will cover about 12% of that, so 120 acres.
So I can get a 12% increase in flood level of my place?
No, you won't get a 12%. You won't get any increased flood level in your place, sir. So there's been a lot of study done to this. So this will basically form two like Colosseum type stadiums. It's such that there'll be no discharge out of either of these stadiums. They're fully bundled. The only way stormwater can be discharged is by pumping. So there's holding tanks under the speedway, and there's a dam on the motocross circuit. Both those will be holding places for stormwater incident on the site. They will be tested, flocked as necessary, and pumped out. Around the perimeter of the site, if you listen, I'll let you know. You have a look over here, madam. This is a swale around the entire site, a vegetated swale, which under WSUD guidelines, which is the guidelines we follow, is for stormwater treatment. So they'll be planted out with macrophytes, paperbark trees, all that sort of stuff to treat the stormwater runoff. So that's where pH, turbidity, suspended solids, nitrogen and phosphorus, madam. So there's two things, there's quantity and quality. So the quality of the water, we would have to have 800 millimetres of rain before there was any non-pump discharge from here. So there's virtually no risk of water leaving the site accidentally without being tested and treated. I'll let Richard speak. That's 800 millimetres of rainfall, sir, of rainfall. 8 days of 100 millimetres a day, every single day. Pretty extreme thing. So, So the whole facility has been chosen out where it can be, I think, 30 metre setbacks to vegetation around King John Creek. Water quality has been dealt with, water quantity has been dealt with. I just explained that to you.
Filtration of water, I can understand that, that's great, that's awesome, but it still doesn't explain to me like what happens after 800 millimetres of rain and a major rain event.
No.
When we do all that flooding comes up to our properties.
No, you misunderstood me, sir. What I'm saying to you is it would need to have 800 millimetres of rain before we discharge any water from this facility.
And what if there's more than 800 millimetres of rain?
If it's more than 800 millimetres of rain, you've got more problems than this facility. So, I'll let Richard speak to the flooding, but it's been modeled for no flood outflows. As you can imagine, it's a small 12% of the site on a 1,000-acre site. What else can we say?
You'll get poured in there, is it going to be generated from the site, or is it coming in on trucks and goes? The dirt to build this part, how is it coming there? Is it generated on the site? Is it being dug out of the site, or is it being imported?
Good question, sir. You're quite right. This is a new lake to be built. This water body, only the fill will come from directly adjacent to the site. So we've got no issues with trucks and dogs running heaps of material up and down the road, heading for road. That lady over there, please.
You're the traffic guy, right?
Kind of. I'm the engineer.
When Sensor Point has a event, a concert, and then also when the Abbey Festival's on, there's cars bloody everywhere, and this is just going to put more congestion on the roads like the Bruce Highway and Bribey Island. You know, more congestion, more bloody hold up.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Bruce Highway. Yeah, so the lady over here.
That's the one lady is right.
She's right. Everyone gets backed up there.
Is the fastest growing part of Queensland. Already the highways can't handle the traffic. You have put all this bloody traffic. What do you do about getting the traffic from elsewhere to your little gem over there? You can build the greatest goddamn intersection, but the bottleneck will be there.
That's not enough.
The bottleneck
300
will happen
metres.
about 8, 10, 20 kilometers next. What you do is about that, for Christ's sake.
No, that's not his fault. That's not
It
their job.
So if I can just say the First Lady's question is was about the capacity of the highway and the other legal roads. So that is a state government matter.
We're talking about fucking Beachmere Road.
All money rain, but this thing would be 0.001% of the traffic on the highway. Yes,
You're talking about the person who parks 2,500 cars on a Saturday and a Sunday at Medical Festival. We park a car every second and a half, and we still can't have trouble getting off Bribey Island Road. So that road there, if you have, and that's over 3 hours by the way, so if you have that traffic coming there for that many cars, for that many people, over a 3 hour period, you'll be backed up right up Beachmere Road and people will not be able to get off the highway. We are in trouble and we speak to the main road.
Oh, my arm's sore.
After the tournament, during the tournament, they're on the phone the whole time monitoring traffic. Your traffic solution there will not do it. And Mr. Corbet, who has spoken to Corbet, it is insulting to suggest that dirt bikes are the same as a speedway. That's insulting. The noise from dirt bikes is nothing near the same as speedway.
Could I just say to you, sir, 2,500 cars for the Abbey Festival this would be a huge day here. Would be 500 cars.
Then why do you have car park for 1,050 cars?
A huge day in motocross facility.
Who's complained to the actual government? Show of hands. Nobody. But you want to complain? What a joke.
By your own figures, 3.5.
Voting for the same people.
I don't think it matters what we say, we're going to go ahead and do it
Hey, thanks, Steve. I'm going to keep moving this on. I'm going to move to the next person, which is around noise, which is Tim. And to your point, sir, we haven't disregarded speedway to motocross. We have considered both, and it's been very much a very important part of this whole process, and goes to the design of what has been put on the screen.
But you said that, I read that they looked at 25,000 people for a speedway.
No, that's not the case. That's not the case. That's not the case. All I can tell you is what I know and what we've applied for, and I can tell you that's not the case. So I'm gonna pass this on to Tim so that we can talk about noise. Because I don't want to run out of time without getting through our items. So
whatever the car park is, you can tell
the motion's
we're going to
correct.
have 4
My name's
people.
Tim True, SLR Consulting Engagement by Corbet to undertake a noise assessment. Sure. So the noise assessment, it's a state significant development, and the noise criteria is guided by the government. It's all legislated. So there's 2 modes for the criteria, 2 categories. There's an event mode.
Mate, hello. Look, can you just hold the mic out a bit? It's too muffled. Hold it about 3 inches.
That better? Testing. Okay.
Yeah.
2 inches down, is that okay? Okay, I'll try again. So, there's a 2-part criteria. There's an event mode criteria, which is for your speedway cars, and then there's a secondary criteria for your motorbikes, and the noise levels are quite different. So, in terms of treatment, there's this motorway, unlike most others, this is a belts and braces approach for this one, understanding the sensitivities. So as Steve mentioned before, there's 6-metre noise bunds and barriers on top, and the cars will also be applied with this work, applied with mufflers, and there'll be a testing regime on site to control the noise levels. Yeah, I'll take a question from you, sir.
On the motocross track itself, so I take you've got the 6-metre bungee. What's the highest jump?
The highest jump, Steve, would be 3 metres high.
How many?
2 to 3 metres high. These are details, though.
Look, sorry, sir. You were the one at the start that suggested to do that. I know. Let us get through it. No, we didn't. Let us get through our points.
And then you started to acknowledge the
So look, we'll get through this. It's a scientific approach. These are the noise levels from the open air events, the speedway events, which we expect to be the loudest events.
Does that include the people talking as well? Shouting, cheering?
So the whole event noise criteria, it's all included. Yes. You are 5 kilometres away here in Beachmere. So here at this facility here, which I understand most of you are from. No, you don't. Some are much closer. And the closest receptors are identified on this. There's a line of compliance, 70 dBA for the speedway events. You'll notice that's really tight in around this is state criteria, EPA 440X, and down the beach here much less. You wouldn't be able to hear it here in the beach.
we've come here, and even to retire after working.
That's not everybody.
And you're assuring us we will hear no noise from your facility.
This is a complex question to answer. I'm not.
You can stand up there, we don't want to know about levels and raises. We want to know whether our quiet way of life, where after 7 o'clock at night you might get one car driving down the road, is going to be upset by noise from the thing. Yes or no? Will we hear noise from that motorsport?
It's a criteria-based assessment. It's criteria, audibility.
In other words, please.
Let him talk.
I don't think we're going to get to the end of that. Can you go to the next slide, please? There's 10 more minutes to show.
No, it was that.
I paid from the Motorsport racetrack, and they said the same thing to us, and you can hear it, but don't say yes, but don't say no. Like, you don't know. That's the answer. That's the answer. But that's just from the Motorsport. Like, I lived in Motorsport, so I was with the drags once up. So you can hear it, and you guys are just going to be honest and say yes, you possibly are going to hear it. That's all you have to say.
Audibility depends on the background level.
Yeah,
In the room here, it's 70 decibels. You could get a rock concert outside, you wouldn't hear it in here. So. And that's not during like periods of low noise, there may be some levels of audibility.
I see out the back of here, on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon after working my ass off to pay for my property, which is, like I said, 2 kilometres away from your development. What am I going to hear? That risk 3 times a month. Nothing but roads, I hear the motorbikes and the packs over beyond that. No, I hear the neighbours on Wallace Road. I hear the young fathers driving away. That's okay. They're out there for a couple of hours having a bit of fun. But not hour after hour after hour with high power fucking vehicles just droning around 3 times a month. You were sitting how long are these events supposed to run for? I bet they're not 2-hour events. Events all day, all weekend, all the time.
I think the Corbet guys will be able to talk to the duration of the events. Okay, so
You want to destroy my whole damn livelihood
this
at
is
home.
no, sir. No, these are the dirt lines. This is the criteria line here. Again, the receptors are well outside the criteria zone. And if you go to the 3rd month, please.
Give me that's for 18 months, that's for 18 years.
These are the driver training, so little noise coming out of that one.
Can anyone from Beachmere use this facility for like, I'm going to do it tomorrow,
Yes, sir.
My name's Ken Spaulding from Hard Lake Resort. I've got a lot of friends here.
I firstly was going to make one suggestion to these people, but now I've got to say another couple of things. Firstly, they're quite embarrassing to us. They've allowed an hour. They're talking about our livelihood. We're the ones who've invested time and money to build in this part of the world, and we want to live here. Some of us are getting older, and we're looking forward to peace. Not all of us men, but some of us are. So we're looking for peace and quiet. So rather than just a suggestion, I've got to cover a couple of items that have since come up. Only 500 cars. You've got to be kidding. I read in one of your many blurbs about how good this Speedway Motorsport's going to be. You're going to cater for 30,000 people. They're going to be extremely big cars if you're going to put 30,000 people into 500 cars. Before I make my point, just a couple of other things. It only allows 1 hour to listen to all of us. So that showed a certain amount of disrespect. the next thing, either by accident.
The disrespect's come from you guys. No. We have sat here, absolutely. I have sat here, given up, I've taken a day off work to come here to listen to the Corbet group put forward to the community what they plan to do. And all I'm listening is all you people
You're interrupting.
Apart from the 1 hour disrespect, I look like that accident, maybe by design. We started off without a microphone. That was very convenient, but we did find one. And now the last thing, the only point I really wanted to make was this. Earlier you said that the main thing you want today is feedback. Feedback would be easy. Just ask a show of hands. How many people in favour? How many people against? I think you can
Angry man. Someone's going to end up punching him out like that. Just calm down. Please calm down.
I appreciate this man's comments and I appreciate what he's saying. Like I said, we knew that we were coming out here to a group that weren't particularly happy. Okay? I'm sorry. You have to make a development application, which is what we've done. Hang on, guys. Okay, all right. Let's keep this civil. All right. You're exactly right. You have to work on that application and you have to consult with your neighbours, and that's what we're doing. Okay? We're following the statutory process of what's required for these facilities, and that's what we're doing. And like I said at the start, this wasn't we didn't have to take this step. We didn't have to come and meet the community. We didn't have to come and explain this. However, we've made the decision. No, we do care about your opinions, and that's why we're here.
And the ministerial infrastructure designation process require you to undertake at least 15 to 20 days consultation.
That's right.
What have you done to consult with this community?
We followed the statutory process.
There was no consultation. Who here was consulted? Show of hands. Who here wasn't consulted? Show of hands. We were not consulted.
No, on Beachmere Road frontage, we put our sign on the side. I'm telling you what's there.
Currently, the sign for development went up last week. Okay, can we all agree that if it was not the active people in Beachmere that made sure they got to this meeting today, that this meeting would have been over in 20 minutes and you would have not have used a microphone?
My feet are sore. I've been standing all day.
Can I just have one question? or the surrounding areas? How many people are going to be impacted by this development?
Oh, yes.
Well, they own the land.
No, I mean up there. Not us, them. How many of them are going to be impacted?
I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna push. Are you talking? Are we going to talk to flooding? We're gonna talk to flooding.
Alright guys, I want to hear about the planning sites.
I'm gonna, for the sake of everyone, I'm gonna keep moving. I'm moving to flooding.
You're already drowning. You don't need flooding.
I've got one question, please take it on a meeting. Where's the minute taker?
I've got.
Taking 9 minutes.
My name's Richard Shaw, I work for a firm called Water Technology, for a person like Corbet, to undertake a risk, a flood impact assessment of the site. So, we were commissioned to undertake a flood impact assessment of the proposed earthworks on the site. The map, for those who can't see it, depicts the change in water surface level pre and post development. So you can see where the earthworks is located. That's the polygon in pink. And the efflux, i.e. a change in water surface level behind the site, is in the order of, it's shaded in yellow.
It's shaded in yellow, and the impacts are restricted to the parcel, the lot itself.
We have one with the erosion control of the Caboolture River on the other side of the river, and they filled up the floodplain, and we all complain because we flood, we get up to chest deep through our house. So we asked what's going on. They're filling up the floodplain. They said a hydrologist report has been done and it's all okay. The next flood, it built up the river, flooded through the back of our house. Since 2011, it's never flooded through the back. It's always broken its bank on Beachmere Road. So the hydrologist report didn't have the valid answers to support what they come up with. So if you do that report and it ends up being otherwise, and it floods, like, how do you change that? Like, we went on good faith, okay, we've done the reports, so we won't flood. But that wasn't the case, and we flooded worse. And now it's done and dust, the erosion control didn't work, the true roots have rotted out, and the fault allowed rotted out, they've been undermined, they just slugged the bank back. It was a total waste of money, it didn't work.
Well, it's a good question. When we did test a number of design iterations until the impacts of flooding were just restricted to the site itself and no offsite impacts, no change or A+ in water surface level.
So can you guarantee, because my property, I just want to know from Mr. Corbet and myself, I just want to know, is my property and Mr. Gentleman's property actually back onto it?
Yeah.
So are you telling me and this gentleman, I don't know his name, that if we have another 22 flood, that my water level is not going to go higher? Now, from my house, I was my water was boot high. So I just want to know, is the water going to go above that or not, or is it going to go less? Because I did try and look at your waters, but someone that doesn't understand that, I don't know if the water's going to go higher or if it's going to go lower. If it's going to go higher, Mr. Corbet, I'd like you to buy me out of my property and you can do whatever. If it doesn't, wait. If it doesn't and the water has dropped down, I could possibly be on board with this. But I'm not saying yes or no until I know from you guys that water isn't going to affect me. I have an 18-year-old neighbour. If that water comes up higher, it's going to wipe him out. And that's my concern. And I've got another neighbour down the back. So that's not, Or I just want to know about the flooding. Because my property is on the back of it. My house is on Beachmere Road and my property links with the property.
Yeah, any works or operational works in the floodplain under either of the state ministerial information or under the local planning and water-based planning scheme, we are not allowed to create adverse impacts of flooding off-site. So we made multiple iterations of the earthworks to ensure that there will be absolutely no impact of flooding as a result of the earthworks in the flood.
Okay, so you promising that there won't, like my property is not going to go under any.
So
that's all I want to know.
Okay, so it's based on council's Caboolture River model, and we have taken the Caboolture River model and changed the elevation profile, and then rerun that model, and that's the result. So that's the change.
Obviously, that might be where the inaccuracies
So it's
are.
based on council's adopted flood model. And that's what we have to work with.
Yeah, just what I think I'm well aware of the retention process and everything like that. And what I've already done with letting water into the waterways, whenever there's development and there's mass vegetation, it takes oxygen out of the water. When it goes in the waterway, we have a mass excess of fish in the river, they all die. So I'm in the water industry. I've been for 35 years. I'm checking humidity levels, oxygen levels. So you end up putting deoxygenated water, so like into the waterways. And it only just happened 2 years ago when they done the development of the waste removal area there, done in industrial state. All the runoff from there, went in the river, all the fish died. And not to prove it, but that's exactly what happened. As soon as the oxygen's gone, they'll die.
So we haven't been to school water management of the site yet. That's to come. There will be a non-worsening provision, so we're not allowed to make any worsening of water quality as a result of the runoff. Sorry, the microphone's got questions.
I just got one question. Okay.
Sorry.
As part of the consultation process, is there a comprehensive environmental and community impact statement that we can have a look at?
Yes, it is. It's on the website. It's on, and we'll send these the link to Mark Booth and the council team to share so that everyone's got it. But yes, there is
So the council's got nothing to do with it?
Yeah. The council has been consulted heavily on this. But as I said before, it is a state process.
Okay, I just want to preface this by saying I like motorsport. I have nothing against motorsport. My father was a mechanic. My grandparents met at the Speedway. What I have an issue with is that we are being railroaded as a community. You have 10,000 people on a Facebook page who are behind this. Us local residents, we've been railroaded, and quite frankly, the behaviour of the motorsport community, Beachmere Community on the Facebook page is horrible. Now, my question to you is, as I said, I can have a foot in both camps. I could support this. I like motorsport. I hate being lied to. I have just read the traffic report. First of all, you say Beachmere Road is a 4-lane road. Bullshit. It's not a 4-lane road. Secondly, you're turning lane into it. Anyone with half a brain knows trucks go into the right-hand lane to turn. They swing. The traffic is going to be held up. Traffic at Beachmere Road is already a nightmare. You can sit at those traffic lights up at the Roby Island intersection with 4 changes of lights because people from Roby Island don't let anyone in. We have an older, ageing community. They need ambulance to get through. This is going to result in deaths.
Mate, can I just say what I was going to say earlier? Is that all right?
Hey guys, I know I spoke earlier and I was shot down. And my background is I grew up in schools, born and bred.
For 15 years, we ran the Friday night motorbike up to the Corbet showground. During that time, you went from having 30 kids up to 280 kids on a Friday night. I'm not sure if all of you are aware of this, but ultimately, we constantly talk about having somewhere for kids to go, they're otherwise destroying the area. What I'm saying here is I'm listening to everybody here saying, what about me?
Excuse me, where do you live here?
Well, I'm listening to it all. This is a community consultation. No, I do not listen to that. From the heading, all right? It doesn't matter, it's community consultation. Community consultation. It is going to be huge for the area. It is going to be great for the area. 100% it is. No, they're not. Absolutely not.
Who compensate everyone here for the devaluation in their property? These guys are making money, they're delusional. It's not a money making scheme, let me tell
We've done our analysis to demonstrate that the impacts of the facility are to be minimised and mitigated to cause minimal impact. Now, I appreciate that's not going to affect that will affect people differently, but for the vast majority, the reason that this is being considered by the state government is because it's because of the location of it. And
Considered or going ahead?
no, considered.
You've lied the information in the numbers are wrong, the road details are wrong, the criteria that you base the data for the sound is wrong.
No,
You're bullshitting all them.
I don't believe so.
How many days, 3 times a month?
How many days? No, just 3 times. What about practice? We talk about practice time. Run time. Practice time, run time.
How far off the decision to come here is it? How far is it?
So the question was, how far through the process are we, and how far off a decision are we? The answer to the first part is the application was lodged in March, and we now here so in this consultation process. Once this is finished on June 11th, it then moves to the state, which then they make a decision. There is no time limit on that process for a decision to be made. So I honestly can't tell you how far off we are, but I think.
So as I said before, you have to ask your neighbours to consideration to see whether or not you're allowed to do something.
Yeah. Sorry.
Basically, it's a fait accompli.
It's not a fait accompli, but we're here.
I reckon that we are going to be able to stop all you people because you really want it. Because you can push the government, we can't.
Look, we're here to have full
You're here to tell us what you're doing.
We're here to inform you. We're here to inform you so that you can.
Mr. Corbett, I ask you right here, why did you give this community?
Because we find it a good spot.
It's a retirement area. It's a retirement area. Why did you?
It's 6 k's away from your retirement area.
It's not. What technically you have? How you said
I'm retired and I'm 2.5 kilometres away from it, not 6.
How'd you find your area?
Beachmere isn't just the village. Beachmere goes all the way through to the 60 zone at the top of Beachmere Road. Let's get that fucking clear for a start, right?
Why did you do
Greater population may be down this way because they're bigger blocks up there, but those blocks have been up there a lot longer.
Yeah.
A lot longer.
Those blocks are farming blocks, that's right.
No, we're not farming.
Sorry, not historically. That estate at the top of the road has been there over 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about
Let me pass on. Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. So I just like, look, we're past 4 o'clock, so I want to get this last one.
Why, you got somewhere to be?
We do have a family.
We said to 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's right, mate.
If you would like to listen to ecology, our solid ecology.
This may be a little bit presumptive for me, and some might think it's rude, but it has been very difficult to hear all the information today because of the lack of an adequate sound system, and I'm sure
And interruptions.
the proponents would have preferred it be otherwise. But my biggest concern is I watched a video on Facebook where it was very strongly expressed that this development would have no impact on Beachmere Village because we were 10 kilometres away. That is what their supporters have heard, people who don't live in Beachmere. According to their own map, I am 4 kilometres away.
That's right.
And there are errors. I'm not going to go through them all. There are errors in the information that is on the government website as part of their proposal.
Definitely.
Now, they also talked on that Facebook video about the future and maybe a fun park and all sorts of other things.
Perfect for the area.
How can we believe when you've got people sucked in by misinformation?
I would if I was loud.
I understand. Thank you for your question.
Somebody in Knoxville, USA, you can get on and you can do a submission.
We've done it.
What use is that?
Yeah, thanks. Look, I appreciate what you're saying in terms of the misinformation, which I
Misinformation and errors.
Yeah.
I just pointed out to you that guy.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
What
I can say is it is going through a process. It's going through an assessment process, which isn't just put forward by us, needs to be assessed by the government. So it is going through a rigorous process. It's the same process that any other ministerial infrastructure designation goes through. And
the application, some of it is not correct. And the encouragement on that Facebook video.
It doesn't get assessed on the Facebook video. It doesn't get assessed on the Facebook video.
I know it doesn't.
And just like you have your say, so Facebook supporters will have their say, but it will be considered professionally and diligently. And we all have independent careers that we have to stand behind. And so we're going to maintain that.
Won't know that is incorrect information.
Well, look, I don't know how to respond.
Corbet Resort was built on a
Look, I'm going to pass to our apologist. I'm going to pass to our apologist and then... no. Look, I'm going to pass to my apologist and then so that we can wrap this up. Because we do need to wrap this up, I'm sorry. Look, yes. Yeah, Hi everyone.
I'd like to make a point first. This whole process has been disingenuous. If any of you have had a look at the proposal, what they have said is that there's about 94%
strong support for this proposal. And you know why? Because we were excluded from consultation from the word go. Yes, if we had been given a say, it wouldn't say there's 94% strong proposal. Now, strong support, it would say that the local community is vehemently against this proposal. And you have been disingenuous from the start.
I understand that. What I can say is that your submissions will be considered in the same way as anyone else's will, and so to make your submissions online, yes, it's all online.
Excuse me. So the people that's for it don't even live in Beachmere. They live in Timbuktu and they want to come here for entertainment. We are the one that have to suffer. We are the one that have to suffer, okay? So of course you got 97% for. But you're saying like 6% that lives here.
It's a community facility.
Are you going to pay for it when we lose our house? Are you going to pay for the budget of our house? What about the animals? What about the farm animals?
Let's talk about wildlife if you'd like to listen.
And if the noise is
a thunderstorm
scares a dog, can you please explain to me the noise they walk is going to scare them?
And the pine forest actions don't scare wildlife, and the motorbike riding in and out, and all the other actions. No, that is fact.
And practice, and the practice, you're going to practice right? Are you going to practice right? 3 times a month, right? That's every weekend. You're going to practice right?
I've got nothing to do with the operation. I'm here to talk about ecology. If you've got a question about ecology, please ask.
Okay, how is the animals not going to be scared because of the noise?
Because animals get accustomed to noise. One at a time. Because they already are used to it. What wildlife, can you, let's be specific. Let's be specific. Name the animal. Let's talk. Okay, thank you. We understand. Okay, come here. Okay. Wait. Okay, look. The idea we want to talk to ecology more generally, not specific animals. But I just wanted to touch on that we've done significant amount of testing. We've done significant amount of surveys for all sorts of animals on the site, and we have been extremely robust in terms of the information that's gone in and being assessed as part of the application. It is all on the website for you to have a look at and to make submissions again if you were to have a concern about that. So I don't know if you want to add anything. The key thing that I would like to add, when we look at the site as a whole, the first part of my job was picking the location of the site, helping to avoid ecological impacts, helping to avoid the higher value wildlife habitats, making sure there's still connectivity through the site, making sure that where it's positioned does not result in a significant impact on native wildlife.
What about the human wildlife?
No problem. Sorry. It's positioned on the site as sensibly as it can be. There is no rare frog there. There's no rare marine mammals. There's nothing of importance in the footprint. I can't hear you, sorry, unless everybody else is quiet.
So I live in a very leafy block at Beachmere. I had arborists at the back of my block. I watched my nesting possum
run from a chainsaw. And I watched that nesting possum leave my house. Now that nesting possum then ended up dead on Beachmere Road. So when you talk about this will not disturb our wildlife, and I can say to you, I've witnessed that, and I also have this to you. Why do you have to be a rare frog? Why do you have, why do you need to be a rare frog? And why do you need to be a rare possum that matters?
You don't. All wildlife matters. The positioning of that footprint is the least impact on this site. It is the most disturbed area of the site. It is mostly dominated by exotic grasses. The frog use in that little area, very low. Very low. The drains that go around the facility will actually improve the acid environments for the significant frogs in the local area. But the balanced land will maintain breeding. In regard to your possums, no trees. Sorry, no possums. Right? Wallabies, yes, they're already gone. It's been a pine forest for years. No koalas. Right?
It's in your bloody application, there's a green zone. It's a koala habitat.
Yeah, it's koala habitat because it's got eucalypt trees. None.
None at all.
None.
Oh, you left it. They lost.
Excuse me, sir, this man's been waiting for over half an hour.
Well, I've been here for 10, but go. Hang on, I've got a couple.
Can we hear the question?
I'll repeat it. Well, I would have defer to them, but yes, it retains and then goes out. All right, I've got your question. Wrong person to ask. I'm an ecologist, not a flood model, a flood man. But the question was about King John's Creek and have we considered that? And certainly in regards to ecology, that is one of the biggest focus areas. It is some of the higher value habitats.
You mind doing your fire?
Sorry?
You mind doing your fire?
Paid advertising.
Hey, look, I'm going to wrap this up now. I'm sorry, I need to wrap this up. I do want to... carry on.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I know this is a big issue for everyone in this room. I've just contacted the department to ask about how many submissions have been made. So currently there has been 1,733 submissions assessed by the department, 1,397 in support, 444 against, 85 uncommitted and 7 errors. So what I want to say to you is I really implore you to make a submission if you haven't. If you strongly object to this project, you need to have your voice heard because ultimately it is being assessed by the state government. I have already written to the Deputy Premier addressing some of the concerns that have been raised, and I do believe community consultation wasn't good enough. And I have asked for the community consultation to now be extended. This has never been happened in an MID process before, but I've asked the Deputy Premier. I believe that we do have an elderly population here. There's a lot of people that aren't on Facebook that didn't know that there is a way to make a submission for or against this project. I have spoken at Palm Lakes and Beachmere Bay, and they've done a petition and they've had 400 people sign that. So some of these numbers to me isn't looking correct, and I've asked them to go back and re-look at that. But if you haven't made a submission, I can't encourage you enough to do so because I do believe it will be taken into consideration and your voice will be heard. And as your state member, I'm happy to fight for whatever our community wants. That's why I'm here. You voted me in. I'm here to represent you. So you tell me, and I will make sure we can get it done.
And can you help us? I've got a better idea. Can every signature on a petition, can that be classed as a submission? A lot of people aren't in it.
Yeah, so the petition that the Palm Lakes Resort did, that was counted, so they had 200 people sign that, and that was counted. So you can do a petition, and
I think that's a good way to go.
yes, and what you can do is to go out door knocking as well. I'll be phone canvassing from my office, asking people what their thoughts are, and if they need any assistance with making a submission. Of course, my office is open as well. If you are struggling to use the link or with sending an email, our offices happily will assist with that. Yes, and that is a link, and that's what the troublesome part is that you have to fill it out online, but there's also an email address. So that was on the Facebook pages, and I know I've got an e-newsletter going out tonight actually that will have more information on how to make a submission. But also we can letterbox as well, and that's why I've asked for an extension of time, because I don't believe it's been long enough and not everyone knows about it.
Are you for or against it?
So initially I was in support of the project. So last year when the Corbet group approached me and they said it's going to bring economic activity to the region, jobs for people, get our young people off our streets, I went, great, that sounds like something that I could support. But again, I'm here to represent you, and after extensive consultation, reading the reports and the assessment, I do have strong concerns, and I have relayed that back to the Deputy Premier, and I want to just make sure you know that you are going to be listened to. So if you can get those submissions in, we've got more evidence to suggest that this is something that does not fit the character of Beachmere.
With that, I'll wrap up.
Just in relation to that, we at Beachmere Bay have developed a form for you to be able to fill in to check to this proposal. It helps that you don't have to make a big long submission. So it says, my name is, I have been a resident of Beachmere for X number of years. I strongly oppose the proposed Moreton Motorsport Park. My opposition is based on the following. And then we give you a list of things: unsuitable location, process, environment, and you get to tick a box. There's a other comments box there, and then you sign your name. That is an objection. You don't need to do further if you don't want to, but if you want to do a 20-page submission, go for it. This is just generic.
Yeah, they can drop it into the office. I can drop it into as well.
Drop it into her office. If anybody wants a copy of this form, please come and see me.
Look, June 11th is the deadline. Look, that's a statutory time. Look, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. I will say that I really do appreciate you coming out to listen to us, and I promise that this was a genuine attempt, and it was one that Andrew and the Corbet family wanted to make on the basis of being part of the community for a long period of time. So I honestly, that is the truth, and we appreciate you coming out here and listening to us. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.